Good morning and welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Today we're talking crystals. What is and what are and what do they do? What do crystals do? What are they? That's the question. Oh, he's a nutter, that man. He's a crystal healer. Say no more. Well, crystals are interesting. More so that I've seen people's lives change just by a crystal in somebody's hand. So we're going to talk about crystals. What are crystals? Well, first of all, I'm not somebody who talks about the structure of a crystal per se. I'm not somebody who talks about where it was created in the ground, which all crystals are. They're Mother Earth's balancer. So basically, Mother Earth needs a balancer, and how she works her magic is certain moistures within the water and how the ground is, or how the space is within that, all to do with temperature, and the right moistures creates crystals. That's kind of my understanding of crystals. It probably is a really weak understanding, but what I understand about crystals is completely different from that side of things. The science side and the gemologists and all of that kind of science-based doesn't really mean anything to me, even though Nikola Tesla talked about crystals being a living entity, which was very interesting because I didn't know that until somebody said to me when I made a video, did you know that Nikola Tesla mentioned crystals and that they were living entities? And I thought, well, that's interesting. The guy must have been a genius, because what I see in crystals is that they're alive. They are genuinely alive. And it makes sense. If a crystal is born in the earth and it grows, then it has to be a living entity, surely. I mean, it grows. It needs the right temperature. It needs the right space to grow. So there is an argument that crystals, once they're dug out from the earth, they no longer grow, but I disagree with that. I see the change in structure, I see the change in colour, I see the change in movement within a crystal many times. So what do I believe a crystal is, and more importantly, how does a crystal work? Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I've never met a crystal I didn't like. Never. Not once. And I've been working a number of years with crystals full time. So my clientele list stretched from all corners of the world, and when they came to me for a session, a healing session, I would often use crystals on my clients. Not always, but quite often. So I didn't want to call myself a crystal healer, just somebody who was a healer, a simple healer. And I found that at the very beginning, a crystal would bring a lot of balance to clients before I actually worked on a crystal, without even knowing that working on a crystal would add a memory to that crystal. And coincidentally, along this journey of working with crystals and holding them, and people saying to me, you know, that crystal is amazing, I've never felt a crystal like it before. And I'd say, have you never held a crystal before? Yeah, I've got tons, but the one that you had and you gave me, I just can't explain. I can't explain it. I mean, I literally feel amazing when I hold it. And I'd go, okay. And I try and understand what they meant. And they're just a bit crazy, you know, because I'm very skeptical myself, even though I'm a healer. It's weird, right? It's true. Okay, I believe you, kind of thing. But then it was happening with loads of people, like grown men and scientists and doctors and nurses and people in the highest levels of industry. They were saying the same thing. That crystal, I haven't taken it off. I mean, if you come out with me after 2 or 3 years of somebody coming for a healing session, they'll still have the crystal on their neck, or they'll still have it in their wallet, and they'll say, hey, Mark, I've never taken it off, or I've never let this go. It's always with me, and that's the truth. Any of my friends will tell you they love coming out with me, because people will come up to me and say, I've never let this go. It's, you know, it's done so much for me, and I'm like, okay. So I actually believe that crystals are very positive. Anybody who claims that crystals are filled with evil, anybody who claims that crystals are the devil's work, in my opinion, has fallen to the dark side. That is my interpretation, what I see and ever hear anybody who who claims that crystals are bad, they've normally fallen to the dark, because you can't say that Mother Earth that's grown a crystal is evil. It's impossible. It's not voodoo, it's not black magic, it's just like a stone, but it isn't a stone. It doesn't vibrate at the same energy as a stone. An energy vibrates at a more dense level. Water vibrates at a very high level, and a crystal vibrates in between. So it's in between a stone and water. It's a very unique energy, amazing energy. Certain crystals, if you take a lighter and light, let's say a smoky quartz, a big snub, and light it for 5 minutes and pull it away and touch it, it'll be cold. In fact, if you get a piece of hair and put it tight against a beautiful quartz and then set it on fire, the hair doesn't set on fire. Phenomenal. There's so much that we don't know about crystals. Yet, in the science world, those people who mock us are the very same people who I say, well, you've got your technology, your science technology. What's inside? What's inside there? Crystals. So, it's a kind of, it baffles me when I say to them, well, if it's used for technology, why can't it be used for general healing in certain ways? So I'm going to now talk to you and explain to you, as a healer would, about crystals and what crystals do and how they work. So along my journey with crystals, I started realizing that crystals hold memory. This is vital to understand where we're going to. And I found that there is two types of energy. There's positive energy and negative energy. Now, I'll explain it in detail so you're going to get it. You will understand this. So, if there's two people, ow, my knee. My knees, I fell off my motorbike a few years ago, and oh my God, my knee's getting worse. It's got loads of little bits inside of my knee, loads of little tiny little bits, and if I bang my knee, it really hurts. So my shoulder needed operating, so they left my knees because my shoulder was bad. Anyway, we're talking about crystals, not my knee. Is he all right, this guy? Not so sure, a bit weird. Should we move on to another channel? No, let's keep it on. I like weird. So, two people sat next to each other having a coffee. Let's say Jane and Tracy. Back again, eh? Jane sits there, and Jane is feeling pretty good today. Jane's feeling quite strong. She's been eating very healthy. She's done some exercise, and she's not surrounded herself by MSM and miserable people. So she's feeling happy today. So on a level between 1 and 10, 10 being very strong, she feels about 8 on level 8. Was that Jane or Tracy? Who cares? But the other one, sat opposite, is now feeling down. She's had a McDonald's, she's just drunk Coca-Cola, she's had an argument with mother-in-law, and she hasn't exercised for a year. So she's now vibrating at 1. Okay? So Jane and Tracy are sat there. Jane is vibrating at 8, Tracy vibrating at 1. Who do you think is giving good energy to the other person? Well, it's obvious. The one vibrating at 8, because the one vibrating at 1 is needing that energy. So one's a radiator, the other one's a drain. Okay? So at the end of that day, the person who's vibrating at 8 is the one who's giving, is not being affected per se because they're vibrating at such a high level, okay? So it's an instinct within us to give when somebody is in pain. A bit like trees. When a tree is dying or feeling bad, all the other trees come together and give it energy. That doesn't affect those trees because they're giving that energy and love, okay? So they keep that tree alive. That's the same with us. We all work on an energetic level without knowing we want to give, and we do. So literally, sometimes we'll feel exhausted after we've been speaking to somebody who needed that healing, okay? So that's how you feel it sometimes. But It doesn't affect you in such a way that you end up dead, or you just re-energize again. But anyway, getting back to crystals. A crystal vibrates at a high energy level, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you cannot put negative energy into a crystal. Not in my book, not what I've seen over these 16 years. No, nada, never. That's a misconcept. People who just repeat from books that they've read, okay? Not from healers who truly do the work. They see that crystals do the work and they vibrate at a very high energy field. So what they admit from the energy of a crystal is very powerful. So each crystal has a unique, like this one is a unique energy, okay? It's a unique energy. Now, Mother Earth gives us all the signs that we need. So, for instance, if you cut a carrot or break a carrot, you'll see the eye of a human being, because the carrot is good for the eye, okay? So if you crack a walnut open, you'll see the brain, the two parts of the brain. So if you eat that, that's for the brain, because it's good for the brain. Science is only just getting this. But these are the signs of Mother Earth. Also, there are signs for Mother Earth which are of colour. So all the colours of the rainbow have a significance to our well-being, because if you go through the rainbow, the colours of the rainbow with your food on a daily basis, so one day is the colour of the rainbow, the next colour of the rainbow is what you eat with fruit and vegetables, at the end you become the pot of gold. You are the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And the philosophy, the understanding, the ancient wisdom of all of these things, whether it's crystals, whether it's food, whether it's colour, whatever, all the signs that we're given, is part of a journey of health and healing, which nobody talks about anymore now because everybody's ill, okay? So the colour of crystals have great importance. Blue, all you need to do is think about that. What is blue? Well, it's the sky, it's the river. So it's flow, meaning that whatever you do, you're clearing away the issues and the problems and the burdens and the traffic and the worries, and you just flow. So it brings in calmness, like the bird in the sky just floating free. It's feeling calm, relaxed. You see what I'm saying? So every colour has a beautiful message to a crystal. So what do crystals do when they are actually on you? A crystal vibrates at a certain vibration that healed Mother Earth where it was. So in theory, if you take a crystal from India, that particular area needed the energy, if you can take that crystal out and hold it, you can feel what that energy is and how it can help humanity. So it helps Mother Earth, but it also has an amazing energy to help humanity. So I'll give you a for instance. I always like to use this one as a great example. This is from Pune, India, and this is Kavansai. Kavansai is the energy of forgiveness. So when you wear this, you feel like you let go of your problems, your worries, anybody who's affected you, anybody who you've affected. If you wear this, you feel an energy that's blasting at you all the time, that is going into a certain part of the body. The physical is connected to the spiritual. So this works on a physical level, but through the physical heals the spiritual. So it's a dual combination. It works together. That's why crystals help physically and emotionally and mentally. So another one, which is Lapis Lazuli, this one here, if you wear this one, you'll feel as if you can just flow in a direction that isn't going to affect your day. You won't feel as if, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. So all of a sudden, the feelings that you'll get is that your physical, normally your chest, that you're worried about something and you feel it here, disappears. That's the physical, it goes away. So now you feel more relaxed, and then you don't worry as much about the what ifs. And now you just find yourself flowing and you're not thinking about the worrying things. Now, Lapis Lazuli has an amazing energy to target the brain and the back of the brain, and what it does is releases tension. That tension then, when it disappears, you're not worried about wherever you're flowing, what you're doing. So physically helps with the tension, and then the spiritual is able to flow. There is no battle. So basically, in a nutshell, crystals help with the battle between the heart and the spirit. And that's the truth. That's called the balance, because most of the time we are in either illness or a feeling of illness, or a worry or a panic, which is created by the physical, which is either or. So chicken and egg, where did it start? How did it start? Was it the physical that then you get worried about something else, or was the physical a manifestation from the worry? It doesn't really matter. What we're trying to predict here, what we're trying to share with you, is crystals help clear away those issues, and each crystal does that. So if I was to show you this, which is a citrine has a great energy of orange, as you can see, and this at times they're a bit lighter like yellow. So citrine has a great energy. The orange always reminds me of vitamins. I don't know why, but the orange, meaning that we take in an orange, we eat it and it gives us vitamins. It gives us, it revitalizes us. It makes us strong. It gives us energy. It makes us feel happier, better. It makes us feel stronger, like a lion energy, because of the yellow. So it's powerful. It makes you feel good. The lemon of the yellow also detoxifying, helping the liver and kidneys, helping you in many ways. That strengthens you. So this is a strengthening crystal. Very, very powerful when you wear it as well. Very powerful. You feel strong. You feel you can conquer a mountain. So each crystal has a unique vibration or a wave that is always pumping out all the time. If you hold a crystal, you can feel it. You can literally sit down with the crystal, and if you get used to it, you can feel what that crystal is doing to you. I'm an expert at it because I've been doing it for years. So I'm randomly going to choose a crystal here, right? Okay, so I've got a crystal in my hand. I'll hold this. Okay, I'll tell you what I feel. So this crystal is now taking away stress from my eyes all around here. And what that means is there's an ongoing kind of like pain as soon as I touch this from my eyes. I can feel my chest, and I can feel like I'm struggling to breathe. That means that whatever's happening here is clearing, or it's moving. The energy is moving to the chest or the heart. Feels like the heart. My hearing is becoming more acute, and I felt a little bit of a pain inside my ears. Stress and tension at the back of my head, I can feel now. It's starting to kind of be like somebody squeezing my head. Another good sign. So it's healing the back, it's healing the ear, it's healing the heart. Stress around my eyes, healing that. The chest pain is now gone. Ears gone. No pain there. No pain at the back of my head. I'm now starting to get a lot more relaxed. My eyes are feeling okay now. That's it. So, okay, so the crystal I've got here is called a ruby garnet. So this ruby garnet has the energy of clearing that within my body. Now here's the thing, guys. It's not that cut and dry to be able to say to you that what I share with the crystal that gives me healing is going to give you the same healing. I don't believe that books with crystals and what their properties are going to be exactly right for you. Therefore, I always say to people, if even if you don't believe it, flick through, you go to your crystal store and just look around, and whatever crystal you're attracted to, taken by and just work with it, because the crystal emits an energy that you will feel. So it's a bit like love. If you fall in love with somebody on the street, you see somebody, oh, she's really lovely. There's a reason for it. I know we go deep in this, but there is definitely something about our world that we don't know about. And I had a friend once who wrote a book that he said that whenever you walk on the street, if two people look at each other in the eyes, it means that they have a connection. Really fascinating. And he went into detail in the book why that is. But what I'm saying is that forget each other, but imagine a crystal has that same connection, in a sense that whatever the energy it's admitting, if you feel it, if you feel it, which, oh, I think I like that crystal, but I don't know why, there is a reason. And the reason is because your spiritual and your physical, not your brain knows nothing, but you feel the pull to it. That is a really powerful intuition that you have. It's an organic, ornate, a very powerful and godly-like energy. But we don't talk about that because we don't allow people to be their true self and be their true power. We don't give people magic. The only magic you get is when you watch it on Hollywood, okay? Nobody else. Only people with long beards and a staff, that's it. No, you have equal power. You just need to awaken that and trust. A lot of it is trusting in yourself. So even if you flick through a website and see crystals on the website, if something just calls to you, buy it, because there's something in that. There's no such thing as space and time. You know, spiritually speaking, you've got a little person on your shoulder saying, hey, that's it, that's what you want. Follow that guidance. So as a healer, as I watch people having healing sessions, as I'm giving healing sessions, I see crystals and how they move in a certain way, which means that, let's say if I place a crystal on your heart, as I watch your energy, your life force, it normally flows and it normally stays very nice, about 2, 3, 4, 5 to 12 inches off your body. As I step back and see it, it can change colour. It can go dense, it can go light, it can vibrate at very different levels. But predominantly, when you place a crystal on them, you can see something happening with the crystal, and it emits an energy that shifts your life force. On your life force, if you have a physical issue, say on your toe, I can see the shift in energy and the change of vibration around there to the rest of your body. So I learned to say to somebody when they were lying down, your shoulder looks as if it needs some healing, and they'll go, how do you know that? And I'll say, because I can see the energy resonating differently from the rest of your body. So, well, how do you know that? Well, I can see there's a change in colour or a shift in energy which is more denser, which is saying that something's happening there that needs to be fixed from the rest of the body. So as a healer, we sit and look at the life force first of all and get used to it, to see, because everybody's life force is completely different, and depending on how what level you're on, whether you're physical, emotional, grief, whatever, your life force vibrates and changes colour and changes shape. And when I'm looking at you, I can say, okay, there's an issue with your heart there. And if I'm giving a healing session, you can do it. You can be pulled to a certain place with your hand. And as you receive the energy which the universe gives you, it can go through your hand into your client, and then your hand starts burning or going cold or whatever is needed there. So, you know, that's why we don't hug each other, because the forces of darkness don't allow you to hug and love each other. So, you know, this is why I find it very sinister right now. We should be hugging each other because we all have natural healing abilities to help each other. If we're separated from each other, it means that we go into illness. It's very clever, really, if you want to create illness in the world. So that's why I hug everybody that I see. It's interesting because when you get a crystal and you wear it around your neck, without even realizing, your energy can change and shift, and from being a miserable old bugger to wearing a beautiful crystal that lifts you up, say like a Super 7 for a man. If he's wearing a Super 7, You can see within, I don't know, maybe a day, 2 days, 3 days, you can see the shift in his energy if he wears it all the time. It's incredible. If somebody's in a miserable state and they're upset and they're angry and they hate their work, if they're wearing, say, one of these, which is a tektite, you'll see that the energy of the miserable, the down, the dense of everybody else, which creates that energy within them, disappears, because the vibration of their own energy field is being absorbed. The negativity is being absorbed into tektite. It's incredible to see. If I ever see a man wearing a Moldavite within a space of a month, if I see him again, I'm looking at somebody different. I'm saying, you wow, you look different. And he won't even know. And I'll say, do you still wear the Moldavite? He says, wear it every day. So sometimes you don't even know. So I often say to people, remember what you were like, and then wear the crystal, and then in 2 weeks or a month, look at yourself again, and you'll see a definite visible change. Definite. So my understanding of crystals over these years is there's no such thing as a dangerous crystal. All crystals are there to help heal you, cleanse you, awaken you, bring you to a new level of vibration, to try and target, crystals try and target the weak point in your body. Not all crystals, some crystals target different parts of the body, but I have noticed something about crystals. They're very clever. They know where to go and heal, and subsequently they always make a difference in helping. Not always pinpointing what needs to be healed, but the energy of wave that they emit heals that particular place. That's why I often wear different crystals, because each crystal has a unique frequency or energy to help with certain parts of the physical, emotional, and spiritual. They do. There is no such thing as a crystal that holds dark, dirty, bad energy. I've made plenty of videos in the past of that. A crystal is too powerful for that. It vibrates a unique energy. There's nothing wrong with cleansing crystals. There's nothing wrong with putting good energy into them. But the crystal itself will always be amazing, and it will always vibrate at an amazing energy. I think it's a fallacy when people say, oh, the crystal's exhausted, it needs to be cleaned and healed. I don't believe that. I have got hundreds and thousands of crystals that I've never cleansed and cleaned, and they are amazing. So I think it's nice when we clean it. It's a bit like, I think it's more about for our own good. We feel better for doing it, and thus we give good energy to crystals. We can't give bad energy to something that vibrates at too high a level. You can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's like I've just said to you, you can't make somebody feel bad if you are on top of the world, if you're feeling strong. You know, if you're feeling weak, then people can make you feel bad, because their badness is stronger than your weakness, if you see what I mean. But I notice this in crystals, because we are crystals. You know, each drop of water holds a crystal. What do you drink all day long? Water. You're 70 and 80% water, therefore you are a crystal. So it's important that you vibrate yourself in a right way. And I think crystals vibrate at that set way because they're not emotional like us. They just vibrate at the energy. They're alive, but I don't think you can say, okay, you're a naughty crystal, I don't like you and don't ever speak to me again. Whereas we are different. We're made up more than just being a crystal. We're made up of many things. So we do feel a lot. I think crystals are there to heal. That's it. That's why they're underground. They're there to bring balance to the earth where it needed it most, because it created it itself. It was its own environment, protection, its own healing, its own medicine. That's what a crystal is. It's a medicine for the body, for spiritual, for emotional, and obviously if your spiritual is strong, your emotion is strong, then your physical is going to get strong. It's inevitable. So crystals are, you've probably got it by now, right? I could talk about crystals for a year and no problem. I could talk a year like this, no problem at all. That what I've learned in these 16 years with crystals, that blow me away, really have. The crystal behind you, what you're looking at, is a piece of pyrite. They call it fool's gold. It is a crystal of great power, and the reason why is it emits an energy that helps you feel really, really amazing. And the only way I describe it is abundance. And again, it's another form of seeing, like the apple when you cut it and you see the star, which is who we are. When we're like this, we're the star, 2 legs, 2 arms, and the head, we're the star. Same thing, that's why you should eat apples. This behind me looks like gold. Well, what is gold? Well, gold is pure. Gold is everything. Gold is truth. Gold is amazing. Gold is abundance. So when you wear a piece of pyrite around you, it emits an energy of just that. So I used to have a lot of multimillionaires who used to say to me, I want to keep my wealth, I want to grow my wealth. And I'd say, well, I'm not really into wealth per se, but there is a crystal of abundance and it's called pyrite. And they'd say, oh, it's gold. And I'd say, yeah, well, it's fool's gold. It's not really gold, but it has the energy that emits this or oozes this beautiful energy of abundance. And they go, oh, do you mean I'm going to get rich? No, abundance means everything that you deserve in your life. Abundance of happiness, abundance of peace, abundance of love, abundance of everything. That means that whenever you connect with people, they feel that and want to be with you, which means that they want to work with you, or they want to invest in you, or they want to, so do you see what I mean? So every crystal has a uniqueness to it. The crystal next to it, malachite, is a beautiful crystal, and I call it the crystal of movement. So for me, it brings me inner peace. Whenever I go off anywhere, I always try and bring a piece with me and hold it in any situation where I just want to be at peace. Because again, green is nature. What is nature? Nature is the ground. What does Mother Nature give you? Healing. Mother Nature gives you inner peace. You know, so this brings inner peace. So it's great for if you're ever in a worry situation, if you're panicking, if you're worried about this. Has always done well for my clients when they felt unbalanced and they just want to find inner peace. It's a great crystal for movement as well. So if you have to travel far away, I found many people always grabbing a piece of this and holding it, and it always stays with them, and they keep it around their neck, and they just love the energy of that. So I could go on all day about malachite and all the other crystals, but I do actually believe, with my hand on my heart, crystals serve us well, and I think it should be an enjoyable journey. I think it should be a very individual experience, and not everybody will feel the same as everybody else. Therefore, I think the books don't work. What I do know wholeheartedly is this, that besides a crystal that is dug from the ground, which owns its own unique energy, vibrates its own energy, which kicks its own frequency out, crystals have memory. I've understood this very well. And the memory, it normally digests, and you must understand this, it digests frequency which is either the same or higher than itself. It doesn't digest low frequency, which means you can't put bad energy into a crystal. It vibrates too high. However, it does it does absorb good energy. It absorbs high energy. So I realized that when I was doing a healing session on a client, when I was holding that crystal and giving healing, pure energy healing, I would put into that crystal the very same energy that went into the client. So now I have a crystal that absorbs the same amazing, powerful healing energy that that client needed for heartbreak, is now in that very crystal that does what it normally does, but now has an added energy of pure energy healing. There is a difference, guys. So hear me out. If you want to energize your crystal, if you want to make it more powerful, whenever you are feeling 100%, when you sit down and meditate, put good energy into that crystal by closing your eyes and asking for whatever you need for yourself. Whatever comes into you, which is called self-healing, will go into that crystal, absorbing there as a memory and staying there forever. So The reason why I sell crystals and I sell them well is because I put between 10 and 300 hours work into each crystal, depending on what crystal I've been working on. Like last night I worked on these. So each crystal has a unique energy. So on my website, if you look, have a look at the description. It's completely different from any book's description that you would buy from the shop. The reason why is because my description is for what I have put into the crystal. So not only will you get the crystal's energy from the ground, but you'll also get a healer's energy from the universe into the crystal, which is a memory, and it stays in there. That's why many people say, oh my God, these crystals feel different. Well, they do, because they've got good energy into it, and crystals absorb good energy and hold it like a beautiful battery would do, right? And it just stays in there, it doesn't go. So you can always keep adding good energy in. So the bottom line is, if you want to make your crystal stronger, when you're feeling 100%, sit down with it and meditate, close your eyes, feel happy, feel strong, and put it into the crystal. The crystal will absorb that in because it likes high frequency. When you are feeling down and sad, you take that crystal and then you absorb that energy from the crystal. It gives you that energy. So if you're wearing a crystal all day long, it works full time. It's constantly working on you. If you put a crystal in your home, it's constantly vibrating and sending out great energy. Unless the room is a very bad energy and it's too dense, then you cleanse the room with sage, and then that crystal will work even better because the waves can hit you much faster, and it takes less time to hit you because the room is of high frequency. If the room's of low frequency because you've had a fight and screaming and shouting, it takes longer for that energy of the crystal to get to you. Therefore, when you're feeling bad, if you've got a crystal on you, it takes a little bit more time to get inside you because it has to break down all of the negative energy that you're producing because you're sad, upset, angry, fearful. So the crystal then works and works and works, but it's a continuous work. It doesn't stop. It does not fail. It does not stop working. It's just sometimes you don't feel it as much. But I'll tell you something else about crystals as well. Sometimes you can pick a crystal up and you can feel blown away, and then afterwards you don't. Why is that? Well, maybe what happened is the crystal awakened that particular part that you thought, oh, I've never felt that before. Wow, that's amazing. But then then you're awake to that particular part. So you won't feel that again because that part needed to be awoken, and the crystal did that. So a lot of people say, oh, my crystal was great at the beginning, now I don't feel anything. Well, actually, it did its work, but it's still working in so many ways. It's just that you never felt that before because that particular part of your body energy was never introduced to that wave, and that wave of healing opened, cleared, awakened, strengthened, and then you felt it. So crystals are, amazing, and maybe one day science will acknowledge that, but I don't think so. I don't think they will ever acknowledge it, and I think it's not meant to. I think we have to understand that we will, in our own way, be our masters, our own gurus of crystals and the awakening of life and incense and oils, and that's for us. It's a personal journey. It's not really that important that science knows anything. Let science be, okay? That's just a religion. We just work towards healing ourselves with crystals. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this little video serves you well. Thank you for going to Bajerski.com and buying your authentic, pure energy healing crystals that I've been working on for 16 years. It's a great collection. I've been building that collection up for, like I said, 16 years, and every single one have been in my hand and worked upon as a healer with pure energy healing. I hope you love them as much as I loved working with them. Have a great day, and I hope I've introduced you to crystals now. Go to your local crystal store and let a crystal choose you, and then just let it be and see what happens. It's actually a great journey. It's actually a great path, and it really makes you feel better. I look back on my life now, 16 years, and think, wow, I've changed so much, and I feel much better in myself and never in the doctors. And before that, I was always in the hospital. So they really do make a difference, guys. I'm living proof of that, and so are my thousands of clients. Have a great day.